If you've ever pumped gas and wondered about iconic station brands, stick around for a surprising ride. Let's get into 15 classic gas station names that helped fuel America's automotive love affair, and uncover exactly what happened to them. Texaco once symbolized American motoring with its bold red star and a legacy spanning back to 1901 in Beaumont, Texas. Through much of the 20th century, its Sky Chief gasoline was touted for reliable performance, drawing in drivers who demanded top-tier fuel. Beyond the pump, Texaco became entwined with NASCAR sponsorships, forging a reputation for speed and excitement. In reality, the brand also had a controversial side, particularly its involvement in an environmental lawsuit in Ecuador that left a mark on its image. Texaco eventually merged with Chevron in 2001, forming an energy juggernaut that overshadowed the famed star logo. While Texaco stations still dot the map, they're fewer and often co-branded, causing nostalgia among older motorists who remember friendly service and glowing signage along every highway exit. The brand's star power lingers in memories, yet Texaco's contributions to refining techniques can't be ignored. Many older vehicles reportedly ran smoother on its high-octane blends, and the company's push for cleaner-burning formulas paved the way for modern fuels. Though its once bright star has dimmed, Texaco's name still carries a hint of its former glory whenever you spot that legendary emblem on the road. Some sport Texaco gear, nod to simpler times. Shell's bright yellow scallop has guided drivers for over a century, tracing back to its British roots in the late 1800s. The company gained momentum worldwide by focusing on quality fuel, advanced refining, and top-tier detergents that promised smoother engine operation. You might remember pulling into a Shell station and thinking of it as an upscale option, with clean restrooms and convenience stores that felt a cut above. Shell also became known for forging alliances with motorsport teams, highlighting performance benefits for everyday drivers who wanted reliability on the open road. Controversies arose from operations in Nigeria, where Shell faced accusations of environmental harm and conflicts with local communities. Critics questioned whether the brand valued profits above ecological balance, casting a shadow over the signature Shell logo. Shell's advanced fuel blends have consistently attracted drivers who claim they notice fewer engine knocks and stronger acceleration. Skeptics argue the difference is subtle, but die-hard loyalists swear by Shell's premium products. Today, Shell remains a heavy hitter in gas retail, albeit with fewer stations in some regions. The brand invests in alternative energies and efficient fueling apps, making it a modern contender that still holds on to its revered heritage. Phillips 66 earned its name in 1927 when a car testing new fuel hit 66 miles per hour on Route 66. The moniker was catchy and captured a spirit of true open-road adventure that appealed to U.S. Americans. Its stations featured a distinctive shield emblem, promising reliability and quality in every fill-up. Many recall the brand's Kick campaign promoting high-octane blends said to reduce engine knocking, which found favor among performance enthusiasts. Phillips 66 also ventured into producing jet fuel and other petroleum products, lending an air of technical expertise. Critics, however, point to refineries that endured accidents and pollution concerns, sparking debate over safety measures. Jokes aside, the brand cultivated deep loyalty among folks who prized consistent gas mileage and minimal fuss. For decades, road trippers across the Midwest swore by Phillips 66 for dependable fuel on journeys spanning thousands of miles. After merging with Conoco in 2002 and later spinning off, Phillips 66 reasserted itself as an independent downstream company. Though some locations closed or merged, the shield still stands in many towns, reminiscent of simpler times when a full tank of gas meant ultimate freedom. Phillips 66 endures by balancing nostalgia with modern innovation for a new generation. Before we move on to the next one in the list, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you're enjoying this content so far, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch these videos without subscribing. Imagine what we could accomplish if everyone subscribed. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. Thanks to all of you who do. Sunoco, founded in Pennsylvania in the late 1800s, rose to fame by offering drivers a pioneering Dial A-grade pump in the 1960s. This innovative feature allowed motorists to select their preferred octane level, a big deal at a time when customization was rare. That being said, Sunoco's fuel became particularly famous among racing aficionados, culminating in its status as the official fuel of NASCAR. Enthusiasts argued that high-octane Sunoco blends delivered sharper acceleration and improved engine longevity, making it a top choice for speed demons. Controversies, however, hovered around corporate expansions that sometimes led to station closures in smaller communities, prompting local backlash. Critics also scrutinized Sunoco's pipeline projects for environmental risks, adding to the brand's complex legacy. Despite the bumps, Sunoco's iconic blue and yellow logo still shines in many regions, especially along the East Coast. Some might recall road trips fueled by Sunoco's promise of performance, with the brand's racing pedigree conferring a certain sense of prestige. In recent years, Sunoco has embraced loyalty programs and modern pay options to keep pace with consumer demands. Though the brand has faced consolidation, it remains a touchstone for those who value a dash of NASCAR-inspired adrenaline whenever they hit the nearest on-ramp. Gulf Oil soared to prominence after striking it rich at Spindletop in Texas, sporting that bright orange disc recognized nationwide. Many drivers of yesteryear remember pulling into a Gulf station for no-NOx gasoline, marketed as a premium fuel that reduced engine knock and boosted performance. Gulf also introduced credit cards early on, making it simpler for consumers to stay loyal. For a time, it vied with the biggest names in oil, sponsoring sports events and employing slick advertising. Controversies, however, bubbled up, including rising costs and stiff competition that led to a major restructuring. Eventually, Gulf merged with Chevron in 1984, causing many stations to disappear or switch branding. In all seriousness, losing that orange disc felt like losing a piece of American highway culture. Yet the name survives through licensing, especially in the northeastern United States, where a handful of stations still display the classic logo. Older folks recall collecting Gulf road maps or tokens on family road trips, a charming remnant of a bygone era. While not the juggernaut it once was, Gulf Oil's legacy remains woven into American motoring history. Spotting that bright disc today often indeed sparks nostalgia for simpler times fueled by free maps and friendly service. Sinclair's green dinosaur, affectionately known as Dino, has charmed motorists since 1916, symbolizing the prehistoric origins of oil. Anyone recall taking photos with fiberglass dinos outside Sinclair stations? A delight for kids and grown-ups alike. Beyond the novelty, Sinclair also introduced advanced lubricants and motor oils designed to withstand punishing climates, appealing to drivers from the scorching Southwest to the frozen Midwest. The brand's early leadership was tainted by the Teapot Dome scandal in the 1920s, tarnishing its public image for a spell. Nevertheless, Sinclair persevered, weathering financial ups and downs through the decades. While not as widespread nationally, the brand remains prominent in the Rocky Mountains and Great Plains, where loyal customers appreciate the consistent service and that friendly green mascot. Critics point to occasional environmental concerns surrounding refineries, but Sinclair continues refining its operations to address modern standards. The dinosaur icon remains a beloved roadside attraction, drawing travelers who want a nostalgic photo op with an American original. Today's Sinclair stations often offer contactless payments and loyalty perks, proving the brand can adapt without losing its core charm. Spotting Dino still sparks a fond wave of childhood memories and simpler road trip adventures. Conoco, short for Continental Oil Company, began in 1875 and grew into a recognizable force sporting a bright red triangular logo. In the mid-20th century, drivers gravitated to Conoco for gas blends promising dependable ignition in extreme weather, a boon for those traversing scorching deserts and snowy highways. The brand impressed many with advanced research into lubricants that tackled wear and tear in older engines. Mergers and acquisitions inevitably shaped Conoco's destiny, particularly its fusion with Phillips in 2002, morphing into Conoco Phillips. Critics pointed to pipeline expansions and refinery emissions as ongoing challenges, reflecting a broader debate over fossil fuels. Some often recall the brand's ubiquitous presence in small-town America, where friendly attendants once offered windshield wipes and route suggestions. Though some stations vanished during corporate reshuffling, Conoco signage remains visible in certain regions, a testament to persistent brand loyalty. Environmental advocacy groups have placed Conoco under the microscope for safety and sustainability issues, urging more transparency. Yet loyal customers argue the fuel quality still meets or exceeds expectations. offering smooth rides for everyday commutes or extended road trips. Conoco endures by balancing heritage and innovation, proving it can adapt despite the shifting demands of modern motorists. Union 76, or simply 76, once donned bright orange ball signs along highways, particularly on the West Coast. The brand emerged under the Union Oil Company of California, tapping into patriotic fervor with its Spirit of 76 slogan. Drivers in the 1960s and 1970s appreciated the brand's high-octane blends that promised peppy acceleration and fewer engine knocks. Truth be told, the collectible orange antenna balls became a cultural phenomenon, adding flair to countless vehicles. Over time, corporate mergers led to ownership by Phillips, then Conoco Phillips, causing station rebrandings and the partial disappearance of the iconic orb. Critics lamented the loss, arguing it removed a bit of roadside character from American travel. Nevertheless, some 76 stations remain, especially in the western states, still boasting quality fuel that car enthusiasts hold in high regard. Environmental watchers note that, like many oil giants, Union 76 has faced scrutiny over drilling and refinery practices. The brand's devoted fan base, however, cherishes the strong performance claims and heritage nostalgia. Modern 76 stations embrace pay-at-the-pump technology and convenience store expansions, balancing tradition and innovation. Spotting that orange ball today can spark fond memories of simpler drives when a spirited Phillip felt like a small piece of Americana. Arco, or Atlantic Richfield Company, rose in popularity on the West Coast by offering lower prices and a no-frills approach. Many stations famously refused credit cards, a cost-cutting tactic that let Arco undercut competitors by a few cents per gallon. For budget-conscious drivers, this was a game-changer, especially during times of oil embargoes and economic uncertainty. Some critics doubted the quality of Arco's fuel, yet countless customers insisted there was little difference other than savings. Arco eventually became part of BP, leading to occasional rebranding across different regions. Environmental controversies flared when the company was linked to incidents like the Exxon Valdez spill through corporate ties. You might recall lines of cars at Arco stations, where every cent counted as families stretched their budgets. Despite the turbulence, Arco remains a go-to for those who still favor a few pennies off per gallon, often ignoring the absence of fancy loyalty programs. Over the years, Arco upgraded facilities to include debit card payments and quick in-and-out service. Some even claim Arco runs cleaner overall. It may not exude the glamour of higher-priced brands, but Arco endures by catering to folks who just want reliable fuel without extra bells and whistles. Amoco, once known as Standard Oil of Indiana, cultivated a reputation for innovation, especially when it introduced unleaded gas ahead of federal requirements. Drivers praised the brand's Amoco Ultimate premium fuel for reducing engine deposits and delivering smooth acceleration. Some of us still remember the torch and oval logo glowing at night, hinting at the brand's focus on cleaner-burning formulas. Amoco station attendants often won customer loyalty with diligent service, ensuring windows were washed and oil levels checked. In 1998, Amoco merged with BP, leading to a gradual phase-out of the beloved logo in favor of BP's green and yellow Helios. Critics bemoaned the loss of an American icon, while others questioned whether the combined entity would remain committed to Amoco's forward-thinking approach. Environmental controversies emerged following the merger, especially in the wake of the Deepwater Horizon spill, though that mainly tarnished BP's name. Amoco itself experienced a small revival in recent years, as some stations reverted to the old branding to tap nostalgic loyalty. Whether it's just a marketing ploy or a genuine comeback remains debated. For many, the Amoco name evokes an era of trust and technical progression, when filling up felt like a step toward a cleaner tomorrow. Mobil's red Pegasus has long symbolized swiftness and aspiration, a direct nod to the brand's Standard Oil lineage. Its signature detergent gasoline marketing campaign in the mid-20th century claimed fewer engine deposits and improved performance, enticing motorists seeking an edge. Some of you may remember station attendants meticulously checking oil and cleaning windshields, reinforcing Mobil's polished image. Jokes aside, Mobil leveraged sponsorships of sports and TV programs, embedding the winged horse into public consciousness. Environmental controversies occasionally clouded Mobil's journey. particularly around offshore drilling and corporate influence in global oil politics. However, loyalists remained convinced that Mobil's premium blends offered smoother runs and marginally better fuel economy. Merging with Exxon in 1999 to form Exxon Mobil, Mobil kept much of its identity intact in some regions, though many stations simply feature the unified brand name. Critics wonder if the corporate behemoth can maintain Mobil's earlier focus on quality and innovation. Proponents say the brand's research budget only grew, spurring advanced formulations under the Exxon Mobil umbrella. Today, that flying horse still crowns many station signs, reminding drivers of a time when service meant more than just pumping gas. Mobil continues pushing performance, upholding its storied legacy. Exxon, another descendant of Rockefeller's Standard Oil, became infamous after the 1989 Exxon Valdez spill, a catastrophic event that stained Alaska's shores and the company's reputation. Yet for decades prior, Exxon's Put a Tiger in Your Tank campaign had successfully drawn motorists with promises of powerful engine performance. Do you recall the ubiquitous tiger tails dangling from gas caps, turning a simple fill-up into a playful statement? Exxon's technical prowess in refining led to fuels that many found remarkably consistent in quality, especially for long-haul drives. Merging with Mobil in 1999 to form Exxon Mobil further expanded Exxon's global reach, intensifying debates over fossil fuel dependence and environmental accountability. Critics highlight Exxon's cautionary approach to renewable energy, arguing it hinders progress. Nonetheless, loyal customers credit Exxon for reliable station amenities and rewards programs that save money at the pump. Exxon faced lawsuits and activist pressures demanding stricter environmental oversight, especially concerning climate change disclosure. The brand's scale and historical significance make it a frequent target of scrutiny, from antitrust inquiries to pipeline controversies. Still, that roaring tiger resonates with older drivers who remember when stopping at an Exxon station felt like a small but confident step into the future. Chevron's red and blue chevrons trace back to Standard Oil of California, eventually becoming its own entity known for Techron-infused fuels. You might recall ads trumpeting Chevron's ability to keep engines cleaner, with many insisting their cars idled more smoothly on Chevron gas. In reality, the brand's Californian roots made it a staple on the West Coast, where drivers could expect well-maintained stations and often higher pump prices. Chevron's acquisitions, including Texaco, positioned it as a global powerhouse, though controversies dogged the company. This led to heated legal battles that tainted public perception of the brand. Nonetheless, Chevron forged ahead with marketing that emphasized quality and reliability, appealing to those who believed in the benefits of its proprietary additives. Critics, however, argue that cleaner gas claims don't offset broader climate implications. Still, loyalists maintain Chevron's high-octane options deliver stronger acceleration and better mileage over time. In response to modern demands, Chevron embraced pay-at-the-pump technology early on and dabbled in renewable energy investments. While the brand's legacy is mixed, that distinct double Chevron logo remains a comforting sight for many who grew up trusting its promise of premium performance. BP, originally the Anglo-Persian oil company, expanded across the globe and made waves in the US by acquiring brands like Amoco and Arco. For a spell, Americans were drawn to BP's bright green and yellow stations, accompanied by marketing that implied a greener approach to energy. The 2010 Deepwater Horizon spill in the Gulf of Mexico devastated coastal communities, costing BP billions and leaving an indelible stain on the brand. Critics accuse the company of negligence and greenwashing, highlighting a corporate mismatch between public relations and real-world practices. Nonetheless, some drivers remain loyal, citing BP's advanced fuel additives that claim to improve mileage and reduce emissions. Others prefer the revived Amoco branding, seeking distance from BP's tarnished image. Environmental groups keep a close watch on BP's pledges to cut carbon emissions, skeptical of whether real change is underway. Some of us may recall an earlier era when BP's station designs felt futuristic, promising a new horizon in fuel technology. Despite the controversies, BP continues exploring alternative energies and upscaling station amenities to match modern consumer expectations. Its global reach ensures brand recognition, but many wonder if a truly cleaner future can spring from a giant once humbled by an environmental catastrophe. Esso, a phonetic take on SO from Standard Oil, once flourished across the American landscape with the cheery invitation of happy motoring. The brand was renowned for family-friendly touches like free maps, promotional decals, and courteous attendants who cleaned windshields with a smile. Esso also developed advanced refining processes that helped set early standards for modern fuels. Controversies, however, emerged around monopoly concerns, pushing many Esso stations in the United States to rebrand as Exxon in the 1970s. U.S. Americans might recall how the switch confused customers who grew up associating the oval Esso sign with reliable service. Yet the name still thrives internationally, particularly in Canada and parts of Europe, where Esso remains a common sight. Critics argue that ExxonMobil's global dominance overshadowed Esso's more personable image, but others celebrate the brand's nostalgic value. Some vintage enthusiasts even collect Esso memorabilia, from old pump signs to playful "put a tiger in your tank" stickers. Today, stumbling upon an Esso station stateside is like glimpsing a ghost from the golden age of road trips. For many, Esso signifies an era when gas stops felt more like friendly pit stops than hurried transactions. Here's hoping you enjoyed this nostalgic trip down gas station memory lane. Jokes aside, the stories behind these brands tell us a lot about America's love for the road and the corporations that fueled that wanderlust. Hope you found this video helpful and entertaining. If you're craving more vintage road trip insights, subscribe now and join our channel for future deep dives. Safe travels wherever you fill up, and we'll catch you next time.